Chief Secretary Foley Augustin presents a $4.54 billion budget. Minority Leader Kelvin Morris labeled the budget as unrealistic. Assemblyman Watson Duke absent from budget sitting, and in sport, LaShawn Roberts is the top goal scorer of the TNT Premier League. Good evening, I am Kristen Salandi, and welcome to the Tobago Updates television news for Monday 26th, June 2023. In our top story, Chief Secretary of Finance, Trade and Economy, Foley Augustin, presented a $4.54 billion budget in the Assembly Legislature today. Under the theme, Building a Sustainable, Prosperous and Resilient Tobago, he called for cooperation in carrying Tobago forward.
Chief Secretary Foley Augustin presented a fiscal package for 2023-2024 with $4.54 billion.
Of which recurrent expenditure estimates amount to $3.39 billion, development expenditure estimates to $1.15 billion, URP expenditure to 97.0.
He explained that it is equal to 6.9% of the national budget, estimated at $65.78 billion.
That the central government nor the Minister of Finance are in need of no other action to be able to give us 6.9%, except to recognize that the Dispute Resolution Commission has already given it.
Augustin made a similar request in 2022. However, the central government allocated a package closer to 4.03% of the Dispute Resolution Commission. The central government said they would have allocated a higher percentage had the recent self-governance bill been passed in the parliament.
Any attempt to extort Tobago's support for an incomplete legislative arrangement for Tobago's autonomy in order to get 6.9% will be soundly rebuffed. It will appear, Madam Presiding Officer, as if the party in charge in Trinidad likes to extort things from the THA.
Additionally, Augustin accused the central government of failing to allocate the minimum of the DRC ruling in a mid-year budget review for the second year in a row.
And that's $100 million after a demand to pay certain contractor, as opposed to $153 million in keeping with the 4.03% minimum.
Augustin explained that the action was illegal.
This is a clear case in which the central government has been caught stealing from Tobagonians.
When brought to the attention of the Minister of Finance, Augustin said he was told that under the law, the government can reduce the share allocated to Tobago.
And when I checked that particular section of the Constitution, it dealt with the hosting of elections and the filling of the Senate. Nothing to do with an authority for the minister to reduce Tobago's meager share.
The THA is now exploring its legal options against the central government. I am Candice Jackson, reporting for Tobago Updates Television News.
Staying with the budget, under the theme, Building a Sustainable, Prosperous and Resilient Tobago, the Chief Secretary announced several plans to develop the island. Here is more in this report from Candice Jackson.
After experiencing the devastating effects of 2022's heavy rainfall from adverse weather conditions, Chief Secretary Foley Augustin said that the need is great to build climate resilience. As a result, they are launching a $20 million climate resilience insurance policy.
Retrofit some of our existing buildings as we transition to more renewable sources of energy. Establish a pilot solar panel farm at the Cove Eco-Industrial Estate. Establish an incentive program for hotels and guest houses to transition.
Increasing food security is a major concern for the Augustin-led administration. They are requesting $263.8 million to invest in agriculture. Among the items of focus are
The proposed startup areas of productions are poultry, fresh produce, small ruminants, so goat and sheep, citrus, banana, and other indigenous fruits. I might have to whisper this one, pork. And aquaculture.
Augustine also presented a plan to support the private sector by expanding the use of the Cove Eco-Industrial Park.
The court will also offer current and prospective tenants ad hoc business development services to assist in the preparation of their application for tenancy at the Cove Park. Provision of land campaign initiatives. The second item for EID Court, and in order to stimulate interest in land tenancy at Cove, EID Court has launched a series of incentives which include a waiver of lease payments of up to 5 years.
Meanwhile, the THA is hoping to increase airlift to Tobago very soon.
Building on this, the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited will continue ongoing negotiations to secure airlifts out of Western Europe and Scandinavia. We are particularly interested in the Scandinavian market because in the past it proved to be extremely lucrative to us. Proposed arrangements are being reviewed for direct airlift out of North America.
Among the highlights of the budget presentation was the announcement that Tobago's animation studio, Fiscal, is ready to operate on a commercial scale. I am Candice Jackson reporting for Tobago Updates Television News.
In response to the budget presentation, Minority Leader Kelvin Morris is displeased with the budget presentation led in the House earlier today. Morris argued that the THA has lost sight of its mission to drive Tobago's economy forward. Janae Campbell has more details.
Minority Leader Kelvin Morris, speaking after the presentation of the THA 2024 fiscal package, expressed his disappointment with the contents of the budget. Morris described the package as unrealistic since the administration would have proposed the full 6.9% of the national budget as stipulated by the law.
Said the Chief Secretary continues to live his dream while Tobagonians have to live with the reality of the nightmare. Because at the end of the day, here it is, you would have gone through an exercise where previously you used to tell the previous administration, lower their gaze, understanding that what you asked for, you're not going to get.
In responding to questions from the media, the minority leader said that there is a lack of public trust and confidence in the Chief Secretary. Morris slammed the administration for having broken promises.
When you look at the situation where so many promises were made, both on the campaign trail and during the last fiscal package, and yet when you tick off the boxes, many of those promises remain unfulfilled. Take for instance the ex gratia. Tobagonians voted, many of them, thousands, voted for an ex gratia of $10,000.
He further questioned the administration's thrust toward foreign direct investment since he said that he had been approached by foreign investors who indicated that they were not willing to invest in Tobago as a result of the ongoing imbroglio surrounding the Chief Secretary.
We have currently, by the Chief Secretary's own admission, an executive council that is now under police investigation, and therefore I am hearing from various persons even abroad who had interest in investing in Tobago that this current political imbroglio is one that they are not too sure they want to put their money in.
The minority leader said that Tobagonians could wake up one morning to news that the Chief Secretary was arrested.
At any day now, at any point in time, the reality is we may very well wake up one morning and hear that our senior political officer, the most senior officer in Tobago, has been arrested, because that is the reality in front of us at this time.
Chane Campbell, Tobago Updates News.
Find out about the protest action which took place outside the legislature when we return after the break.
Are you flood ready? Review and update insurance coverage. Install floodgates and barriers. Create a family flood plan. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. TATIL, where people are people.
Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Welcome back to the Tobago Updates television news. In anticipation of today's THA budget presentation, protesters gathered at James Park alongside members of the Tobago Council of the PNM. Ansel Dennis, political leader of the PNM Tobago Council, was also present at James Park this morning and expressed his concern regarding the list of unregistered contractors.
So, the entire development allocation assigned to the Tobago House of Assembly shipped away to Trinidad. $54 million. A road in Pigeon Point given to a contractor that is, as of now, still not registered as a contractor with the Tobago House of Assembly.
Mr. Dennis again raised the ongoing issue about the infamous audio recording and expressed his concerns about the alleged use of public funds to fund political propaganda.
We are simply not prepared to hear our chief public servant on the island plan, and perhaps they have already executed that plan, to utilize THA resources, public resources, taxpayers' money from the Treasury of Tobago to engage in political propaganda.
With the change in administration, there were persons whose contracts naturally ended and were not renewed.
Again, they said that we were managers and we were political hires, but we are talking about people who are quite qualified and educated to do what they were doing. People who are now struggling to make ends meet. People who are still at home, not working, can't find jobs. People who are on a blacklist.
She was one of the several persons whose contracts were not renewed. Meanwhile, absent from Tobago, present in Trinidad, reporter Bianna Brebner has more in this story.
Assemblyman Watson Duke was notably absent from today's presentation of the 2024 THA budget, which was presented by Chief Secretary, Secretary for Finance, Trade and the Economy, Farley Augustine. Whilst Assemblyman and councillors from both administration and the minority congregated in the Assembly chamber to listen to the budget presentation, the representative for Roxborough Argyle was in Trinidad for local government nomination day. In an interview, Mr. Duke had this to say.
Definitely, the issues in Trinidad are very grave issues. They're issues of life and death and bondage and freedom. And I think that where the issues are more serious, I will be there. In Tobago, we have a puppet show in Tobago where a man presents a budget that will be extremely large, inflated, and he receives pittance. And then he come back and say he has a good budget, or he doesn't have enough. And there's condominium and lack of accountability. So it's more puppet show in Tobago, but this is the real show. People here requires leadership.
Duke expressed confidence in the PDP contesting the elections, and his advice to his candidates was work, work, and more work, which would only result in continued work. His message to the electorate was that the election was about the individual and what they wanted and what they are voting for. He continued that there were so many years of both UNC and PNM governance in reference to the management of the various corporations, yet they are a cry from the ground. Mr. Duke indicated that this election was about fixing the issues that plague the society and finding a balance between the segments of society. I am Biana Bredner of Tobago Updates Television News.
Moving away from the budget, Councillor Orlando Kerr labeled the release of a second controversial audio clip as a distraction from real and major issues pertaining to Tobago's development. Councillor Kerr appeared on Good Morning Tobago today. Here is more from Candice Jackson.
Next.
The much-anticipated SEA results will be released on Monday, July 3rd. Students and parents can finally breathe a sigh of relief as the Ministry of Education announced the SEA results will be available next week. Students, teachers, and parents spent months in preparation for the exam, which took place in March. Whilst Monday will bring its own sense of anxiousness, it will also be the end of an era for this quota of students, who will now focus on entering another chapter of their academic journey. Sports news when we return after the break. Stay with us.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Are you flood ready? Recycle and properly dispose of large waste. Avoid sweeping yard clippings or trash into drains. Plant trees to avoid soil erosion. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. Tatil, where people are people.
Right now, Tobagonians are just currying down to Bonaccord, right in Stobin Local Road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, half-inch and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will do your free WhatsApp quotation for you.
Welcome back to the Tobago Updates Television News. Turning now to sport. A Tobagonian football shone over the weekend in the Trinidad and Tobago Premier League, which took place over the weekend. Here is Marcus Daniel with the details.
Plymouth-born striker Lashon Roberts and the Defence Force were crowned champions of the inaugural Trinidad and Tobago Premier League over the weekend. Roberts was an unused sub in a hard-fought 2-1 win for the Soldiers over AC Port of Spain at the Arima Velodrome. In a top-of-the-table clash, the Army entered the match needing nothing but a win to secure the prestigious title. AC Port of Spain needed to avoid defeat as they held a 2-point advantage. Following a goalless first half, the deadlock was broken in the 64th minute when Justin Garcia gave the Soldiers a 1-0 lead with a header from a corner kick. 2 minutes later, after some tidy dribbling on the right, Kaim Thomas was on the receiving end of a cross and finished from close range. It led to joyous scenes as the players joined the substitutes, ran onto the cycle track to celebrate. AC tried to pull a goal back, but Army also threatened to find a third. In the dying stages following a free kick, a header was struck across the face of goal, which was poked home by Muckett. It was not enough time for AC to grab the equalizer as Defence Force was crowned champions. Roberts ended his first season with the Soldiers, scoring 5 crucial goals. Marcus Daniel, Tobago Update Sports.
Tobagonians continue to stand out in national sports. This time in cricket, DeJean Charles scored an impressive 34 runs from 18 balls for the Soca Kings in the finals of the Dream 11 Trinidad T10 Blast. However, it was not enough to take the Soca Kings to victory. Here is Marcus Daniel again with the details.
Tobago's DeJean Charles had a top score of 35 from 18 balls to help the Soca Kings to a modest 75 for 7. They batted first in the final of the Dream 11 Trinidad T10 Blast last Saturday. However, his efforts proved futile as the Sam Army Cricket Cavaliers rummed to an easy 8-wicket win at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Toruba. An unbeaten 50 from player of the match Ahmed Django saw the Cavaliers across the line in 8.3 overs. Having won the toss earlier and opting to bat, Charles entered the crease with the Kings struggling at 2 for 2. The languid left-handed batsman got into stride with 2 big sixes off spinner Ali in the 4th over. The first was deposited over square leg of a short delivery. Charles then used his long levers to his advantage by backing away and stroking Ali handsomely over long off. The Goodwood-born greeted off-spinner Mahabir Singh's first ball of the 5th over with a powerful shot, again over the long-off boundary for his 3rd 6 of the innings. The flurry of sixes was broken when Charles showed his class and form by pulling Mahabir Singh for 4 through mid-wicket. Charles rushed to 35 from 17 balls with his 4th 6 of the innings in the 7th over of the bowling of Mahabir Singh. However, Mahabir Singh would have the last laugh, having Charles caught off the edge at 3rd man, attempting another big hit. Charles ended the tournament as his team's leading run scorer with 159 runs, inclusive of 16 sixes and 8 fours. Django was named player of the tournament, having scored 264 runs in the competition. The Cavaliers took home a first prize of $100,000. Marcus Daniel, Tobago Update Sports.
We are about to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. More news after this.
Are you flood ready? Monitor trusted sources for info. Wear protective gear when you clean up. Contact your insurance provider to assess the damage. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. TATIL, where people are people.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival Fever. Book your passage and come on over.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider TATIL is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider TATIL is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider TATIL will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. TATIL, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Thanks for staying with us. The Fisherman Festival is one of the popular events in Tobago's festival calendar. After being locked down for 2 years, the Charlottesville Fisherman Festival has returned. Sea, family, fun, and vibes are some words to associate with the festivities. Janae Campbell tells us more.
Fisherman is one of the staple events here in Tobago. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we were not able to have this event for at least about 2 years. However, we are here in 2023 with Charlottesville Fisherman the return. Stay tuned to the Tobago Updates News for more coverage of this wonderful event. There's lots in store. It was an eventful afternoon filled with lots of activities for the young and old. One of the first events was a swimming race which saw 4 contestants treading the water with tremendous precision and pace.
Swimming, where you going? Where you going? Hi.
What is a fisherman festival without boat races? We saw boats of various sizes and colors racing across the tranquil waters of Charlottesville. At the beginning, Mr. Kennedy took a sharp lead but was outrun by other vessels. In the end, Minnie of Castara was victorious. Not very surprising considering that Castara is also a fishing village. We spoke with Dudstick, a community icon and one of the event's pioneers. He noted that the Fisherman Festival has undergone several changes over the years, and it is his wish to see the festival return to its roots.
It was more a community. The community was real involved, rather, in these days. But as time changed, the youth has different perspective, and we have to live with that. But I'm hoping that someday that those glorious days will come back.
Notwithstanding, the event saw scores of people in attendance with a good DJ cast and a vibrant crowd. It was vibes in Charlottesville, fun, sweet soca music and alcohol, a Tobagonian's paradise. It was an opportunity to foster community competitive spirit with activities such as ring toss. Many looked on in great cheer and excitement. Football was also incorporated into the event. Huey Cadet of the Phoenix Masters Club aired his views on the celebration.
We're happy to come up this weekend during the Fisherman celebration to support them. It's something I've been doing for many years as part of the Phoenix Masters and of course 1976 FTC. So we're happy to come up and support the guys in Charlottesville. Of course, we're happy that we also won and could leave again with a victory. Congratulations to all involved and all the best to show that people have a grand time for the rest of the weekend.
Thank you very much. Janae Campbell, Tobago Updates News.
Tobago Updates Television is your budget headquarters for 2023. The discussions have not ended. Join us on Tobago Updates Television for comprehensive coverage and in-depth discourse. Continuing all week long on our morning programs, newscast, and special programming. We are at the end of tonight's newscast, but before we go, here's another look at the headlines. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine presents a $4.54 billion budget. Minority Leader Kelvon Morris labeled the budget as unrealistic. Assemblyman Watson Duke absent from budget sitting, and in sport, LaShawn Roberts is the top goal scorer of the TNT Premier League. I am Kristen Salandi, thanking you for joining us and wishing you a good night.